G'day! In today's video I'm opening up a HP 14S with the model number cf1050tu. Should be viewable there. This particular one has got a Intel Pentium processor, or Pentium Gold as they're now calling it. Don't know what's so gold about it. But I will start by taking this strip off. And it's a Gold 5405U, U meaning it's a low powered variant. It is only a 2-core processor, 2-core 4-thread, so don't really expect too much from it. And the reason why I'm opening it up is to find out what is upgradable, what is replaceable, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This one does already have the Pentium Gold in there. And right now these seem to be all Phillips head screws that I'm taking out, 3 across here, and there's also 2 across the front. And it already has 8 gig of RAM in there by default, so not a bad amount of RAM. I'm curious if it is soldered or if it's slotted. And it does have a 128 gig NVMe SSD, or at least that's what I'm suspecting it to be. And I'm hoping, I don't believe there's any more screws hidden under here. Actually, there's an indent right there, so I would say there is one. Bingo. So we do have one hidden screw, because of course there has to be a hidden screw somewhere. Now do note that that long screw here, this one here is longer than these two. Same size, same size, same size, same size. Now from here, I usually find the easiest way to get it open is along the straight here. If I get a bit of plastic pry tool or a business card or a bank card, should be able to pop this out. So I'm not sure if it's the back separating from the front or the front separating from the back. We'll find that out shortly. I'd say it's the back coming off. So I'll fold this down and we should just be able to lift. There we go. Lift up and out. If you have a look, I'll zoom you guys in and let's talk about what's here. So to begin with, we're looking at a battery here. This one was manufactured in March 2020. And as we can see, it is model number HT03XL, which is a fairly common model number. So that would be a very straightforward part to get. Granted, being only a bit over a year old, it should be fine. We do have an upgradable Wi-Fi card over here. So that one's very straightforward to come out. We'll flick that, or demonstrate, and flick that up. Some people will say you have to disconnect the battery, being it's only held in by 3 screws. Let's just quickly do that. So this is, if you want to upgrade any component in here, this is what I'd recommend doing. One more over here. Set that out of the way. Go over to the Wi-Fi card here. Should be very similar to the RAM. We'll take out the Phillips head screw. That will lift itself up, as you can see. And that just pulls, wiggles back and out. There we go. I'm not actually sure what model we do have here. They're very sparing with the information of it. I'm sorry, I can't get you in focus there. There we go. So let's put this unknown Wi-Fi card back in and proceed to continue looking. So that screws down. Next up, I typically get that on just loosely sitting on top. A pair of tweezers helps you line it up. And then we should just be able to push it down with a little bit of force on top. And it should pretty much click into place, and you should be able to grab the cord and just wiggle it like so. Do need a little bit of a dust clean out. I will give that a brush off camera. And going over here, we actually have a spare M.2, which is quite surprising. So we have one M.2 here, but weird enough, we've got 2. So that is quite surprising. So they've used the hard drive cable. Typically, I would assume an IDE drive could go in here, except they've got this very weird looking bracket installed. And we go in here. So they're very much like the wireless card. Should be able to undo one screw. That should wiggle out, like so. And we have a Kingston drive in here. Where are we? Kingston S50DE. So it's a 128 gig model. So very odd that that's there. Pretty sure this might actually be an M SATA going by the keys cutout on it. And being that we're also connecting up to here. So to install that, goes in at an angle, pushes in, folds down. Very much the same as up here, with a very munted factory screw for some reason. That screw there is very much missing its top. Still unscrews, but it is very tight. I'm not sure what's happened there back at HP. So releasing the RAM is pretty straightforward. This folds out, flicks up, and you'll be right to grab it out from there. It does go back in on a 45-degree angle and pull down. And apparently this Pentium Gold supports up to 64 gig of RAM, which is quite crazy. It does support, weird, the memory speed that it runs at is 2133 and 1866 DDR3. So I'd say this is what they had floating around at the time, and that's what they've put in there. And if we have another look around here, we have a replaceable charger port. So it isn't soldered directly to the mainboard. It does snake down and connect up to here. So if you do damage a charger port, that can be replaced. But from here, I'm gonna give that a quick blowout. I'll give this a quick blowout, or brush. And I'm not gonna bother putting in thermal paste. It's only a 15-watt processor, so it doesn't exactly generate much heat. So heat won't be an issue with this machine. And we'll put the battery back in and go from there. So we'll put in our HT03XL battery. Should just be able to line it up and drop it down. Push up here to reconnect it. And then we need to put our Phillips head screws back in. So it should have marked, or we should be able to see where they need to go. All pretty straightforward spots. The battery itself has the arrows on them, or at least sometimes it does. So if you have a look, some of them don't actually have a mount for where they thread into, so I won't be threading it into that spot. Like here, for example, which goes directly onto the mainboard. Next up, we're going to put this back on. We do have more ports on the left than the right, so we'll kind of go over and angle it on the left and pull down and push it into position. Go. Next up is our screws. So 3 larger ones along the back. And by larger, they're also longer. Now we'll put this back on. As you can see, there is lugs on here that do need to go back in. So I can line that up. Put them in their holes. Should mostly fit. Sometimes you do end up with a bit of excess length. Just gotta go worm it back and forth. Next up, we've got the next long piece here, a long screw. Goes to here. Next up, these ones. And same scenario here. As you can see, we do have a circle on this bit here. So I'd say that's just where the adhesive hasn't fully made contact. So let's feed it in one end, work its way to the other, then feed it in at this end and work its way back. And it kind of averages out from there. So I hope this helps with upgrading your HP 14S cf1050tu or very similar model. That will do for today. Bye.